Hello, in this video we are going to take a look at some panel. Let's start with Object Align panel. To open this panel, you should at the least select one object. Shift S to open this panel. This panel consists of two grids. One grid for the active object, in this case the bigger circle, and the other grid for non-active object, in this case the smaller circle. This panel has no effect on the active object, only change the position of non-active object. So I want to place the center of non-active object, the smaller circle, at the center of active object, the bigger circle. And now the smaller circle will move to the center of this bigger circle. Or place the center of non-active object to the right of the active object. And now the circle will be at the right. Or place right to right, or left to right. Each grid consists of a 3x3 dot and a 3x3 line. The difference between lines and dot is that the dot changes two axes, while the line changes only one axis. So the horizontal lines change only the vertical axis of non-active object, while the vertical lines change only the horizontal axis of non-active object. So I want that the line that passes through the vertical center of each object to be equal to the center of active object. Or down to down. Or the upper side to be equal to the downside. And now let's move to the next panel, which is Object Distribution panel. To open this panel, press Shift D. This panel consists of 6 methods to distribute objects. Let's start with the first one, which is a constant shift. Here you define the amount of shift between each object, let's say 2, and then you specify the axis horizontally. Let's move to the next distribution method, which is side by side. The next distribution method, which is even space. If you want to distribute this object between these two objects to the even space, you use this method. And now move to the next distribution method, which is distribute between two points. First, you have to specify the point. You can specify the point manually, or you can use the picker. Now let's move to the next distribution method, which is grid distribution. Here you only need to define the number of rows or the number of columns. So the other value, choose it automatically. So if you have 5 objects and 2 columns, then the number of rows should be 3. Here you define the amount of shift, for example, 2 by 2. Apply. And now let's move to the next distribution method, which is a circular distribution. You have to specify the center and the radius, the start angle and the end angle. You can also use a minus value. One note: when the angle starts from 0 and end at the 316, there will be 2 objects at same location. because this method places the first object at the first angle, which is 0, and the last object at the end angle, which is a 316, and the 316 is equal to 0. Now we have two objects at the same location. To avoid this make a little calculation. 316 divided by the number of objects, or you can just place extra object and delete it later. And now let's move to the next panel. If there are no objects selected and you press Shift A, it opens the panel to set the cursor position. Let's say 5 by 5. This is the red dot is the cursor. When there is object selected and you press Shift A, it opens another panel. Make the selection move to the cursor. Or you can set the cursor position. Or make the cursor code the selection origin. The cursor to the selection center. The cursor to the active center. If there are only one object selected and you open Object Align panel, this panel will set the cursor position.